Hey, hello beautiful Pisces. Don't mind the noise in the background, just treat it like white noise. It's my little heater, it's keeping me warm. Cold days. End of November. We're all in winter. The ground is white and is remaining white, so winter is full on, even though it's only the beginning of winter. I think it's the 20th of December. Here we go. The World integration card. Completion, conclusion, foregone. We have the Red Garden 8, beautiful in its lushness, giving that Nine of Pentacles feel. The Knight of Swords, moving fast, words on her skirt, moving in like real movement, right? She's surfing an actual feather. But the feather's not the bird. Just a little reminder here. The Art of Seduction. Something that's being attracted to, right? It's attraction. 14 is usually the number of temperance. But the thing is, temperance is also like both sides of the equation. You have both the masculine and feminine here coming into play, right? If there's a woman, there's attraction. If there's attraction, there is action. You have the Two of Swords here. She's offering like solace to these birds, but unknowingly, you know, because her eyes are not, they're covered. So she doesn't even realize what she's doing, the nesting. White Rose of Hope, 3. The 30, which goes down to 3, which is the Empress number. This also is giving me that moon vibe card. The sun, clarity, and then bloom, of course, 5. Through experience, things happen. Absolutely, the Hierophant coming in to just speak for a minute. Through dissonance comes growth. Absolutely. So what are we looking at here, Pisces? Well, it's pretty obvious. Something's coming to a close. Okay, something is coming to a head. Something is going to be happening here. And it is fruit. It is fruit. It is definitely a garden. It is definitely growing. But some people don't realize that it's a garden. They think they just have the product. What they actually have is an ecosystem. It's, again, people thinking they're farmers when they're actually stewards of the wild. Okay? There's a distinction between the both, and this is where the White Rose of Hope comes in, as the moon shining in the darkness. See? A white rose doesn't actually shine, but what happens is that the color is so striking that it feels like it does. So, just like the moon, it's just a rock, but because it's reflecting the sun, it feels very bright. It shines its own light. It's the distinction between one thing or another. Both are true. You can call yourself a farmer, but in the end, if you really think about it, you probably are just a steward of the wild, right? That's exactly it. You're like, oh, you're mapping the wild. It doesn't mean that you're doing less or that it's not unimportant, but this is the beautiful thing, right? You become the leader of this, right? So, okay, let's keep going here. These parts here are making me feel like you may be going in blind, but not with everything that you know. Again, this is something like I don't have all the facts, or I'm going in with the facts and I'm not exactly sure. We had the Page of Swords come in yesterday, and now the Knight of Swords. They feel very similar in energy. It's just one comes up with the idea without the full picture, and the other puts those ideas to light, maybe not with the full picture. The thing is with the Two of Swords is that it's all coming in just the same. Even without the full picture, the thing is still happening. In other words, it's like she may not know what the full picture is, but the habitat is still being provided for the birds. They're still reaping the rewards from it, and I think that's what's happening. You have the bird covering the eye, again seeing like the picture getting clearer, but not completely. Maybe some, even with this deck, I always feel like it's some actually grabbing the bird and keeping it half on the face to show that they are deliberately hiding from seeing the complete truth, because maybe seeing the complete truth would be too hard on their system or to calibrate personally. There's a great big part of desire to see this through. That's the biggest part. Okay, there's a lot to be had between the completion card, which by the way was the one card missing in one of the readings. We had the Fool and we had, what was it, the Judgment, right? The card that was missing in the middle was this one, because you go Judgment, World, back to Fool. This was the card missing, and it's right here. It's letting you know that it's definitely going to that level, to that definite place, right? And it's not in a bad way, because the red garden here, this is lush, this is pink, this is everything you want. Okay, but again, like I said, the mistake would be to think that you are the only one controlling it. Nature most of the time cannot be controlled. Even when you think you have it all held in one place, the seeds have propagated somewhere else. Nature finds a way. The growth happens, even when you see it, when you don't. This, again, this is really speaking. These are really speaking to the fact that some of it is seen and some of it is completely not. You're just not seeing it. The bloom card at the end showing where the different blooms are taking, right? The one you know and the ones you don't, and how, not even just that, you see it in the background, just how much of an ecosystem is growing around her. And it's fed by the sun, because even if you don't want to see it, the sun is still feeding the seeds that are growing. For those of you who are new, or it's the first time you've been here, I'm going to explain the moon again. The moon is a reflection of the sun. People will argue, oh, the moon has its own light, and some will say, no, it's reflecting the sun, it doesn't have a light. Both are true, but it's the different perception of it. And if you spend your time just arguing both sides of that, while the moon is actually shining the light, you're missing the point. The point is to see both sides. The point is to understand them. And the point is to move appropriately when they come in. When you're stuck in one version or one sense of it, or have made up your mind with the Page of Swords with one definite things without having all the facts, you then become somebody who seriously curtails what the definition or what the meaning of them having what they want is going to look like. In other words, you are, instead of having 7 choices, you're going to limit yourself to 1 or 2 choices. And those are the things you don't want to do. You don't want to do. The planet that we're living on and everything that's happening around us, it is, if you want to prosper, you have to be open. Not only tolerant, but also open in the way that you see things. You have to open up your mind, your space, and as Pisces, I don't need to remind you of that. That's not a problem for you to be reminded of that. Let the idea of different meanings seduce you, the art of seduction. And seduction is not just going down the wrong way. It's seduction as in, ooh, that's interesting, right? It's temptation to look further, to see, to be seduced to look and maybe feel, sense, and direct the thoughts in a way that wasn't there before. You're bringing in temperance that way. You're bringing it both sides of the equation, both the feminine and the masculine. You're bringing them together. What a beautiful picture. So nice. I like it, right? She is showing him, look, rose, look, growth, look what the seed brought in. Absolutely. See? Absolutely. So, look at what the wind blew, right? Because seeds also get carried with the wind. They don't always know where they're going to land or what they're going to do. The Knight of Swords clearly indicated, right? A lot of chaos. You see seeds from a tree. Some will root, some won't, some will die, some will go so far away. You can't exactly predict, but the wind carried it. So you're absolutely going. And progress is going to happen regardless. The only difference is that you're either going to be completely aware of it or not aware of it at all, but it's happening nonetheless. The World card is the first card, and the integration is happening, and the blooms are happening. Whether you're facing to look them or not looking at them at all, or even just halfway paying attention to them. So, this has been your reading for today, Pisces. Thank you so much. It's been completely channeled because I didn't check it for coherence. I checked it for resonance. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.